Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning and welcome to May. And you know what they say about May? Sell in May and go away. I don't like making big predictions or anything like that, so I'm not going to make a big prediction. But I will say I do not like what I see on the chart today. There is blood on the chart. Critically, actually, you know what? I can't really show it on here. I need to come over to this. Here's my trading view chart. Nice little indicator here. Actually, I can give it to you guys. Let me hold on a second. Tradingview.com. You can only see this chart if you have the link. But I'm going to give you the super secret link, okay, guys? I'm going to give you the super secret link. Scripts. Oh, maybe it's not super secret anymore. Maybe it's not super secret anymore. Here's the super secret link. So you can see this chart yourself. All right. Anyways, yesterday, we opened up pretty much right there. Wait, that's not. Oh. I'm like, that's not yesterday. We opened up, pretty much was the high of the day, down. Here's target 1, here's target 2. These targets are based on the volatility of the VIX. Overnight, busted through the bottom of it. Now, note, we haven't been doing that lately. In fact, we've been having a hard time even getting down to the first targets on a lot of these days. In the regular session, at least. Okay, but then overnight we get it. Okay, cool. So, what are days when we get through the lines? So we got to go way back, right? Even further. Okay. Here's a day where we made it outside of the lines. These were the days when we were hitting 5% stops, right? Outside of the lines. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to get outside of the lines. probably not even 10% of the time. Okay. So, move down, increase in volatility, right? Move down, increase in volatility. Here's the E-mini volume profile chart. We still have an untouched point of control down here at 27.91, which is pretty likely, I think. If we don't see it today, we might see it Monday. Treasuries, unmoved. So maybe they're not super panicked, but maybe that's just a really good reason to buy. I don't know. What do you think? Today could be a sell day. I mean, here's the thing is that we had this reversal day back here. Okay, so this day was a reversal day. Then strong move up, earnings. And then as soon as they got the earnings out, we're back down. And now we are below that reversal day. So at the very least, all of the momentum is now to the downside. Whereas before it was definitely to the upside. So it might be significant. So again, I shouldn't make predictions. I feel really bearish right now. Nobody likes this rally. Nobody likes this rally. It needs to come back. And everything I see says down. Well, if we really think that it's down, probably the best way to play this is the E-mini. But I don't know. There might be a good trade in treasuries. So that's my spill. Oh yeah, one more thing. Be sure to check the video description below to get your Trader's Gonna Try mug. Available in our shop. Because really, it's so great. I should go out You know what? Some businesses are open. I wonder if the at-home place is going to be open. I can go and I can find a shelf to put behind us. I think that would be great. We could put that on the shelf. We can put our Ferengi book that we got. Should be fun. All right. So how are you guys today? Oh, yes. Let's send a message to John. Yeah, just looking at that tape right there, you can kind of see that they have to push to get up there, and then it just kind of dip, 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 dip. I don't know how to describe it. It's like when these guys buy, it's like they're pushing. And when the sellers come in, it's like obviously they're doing the same thing, but it doesn't feel like it. I think it's because the orders are pulling out of the way. More orders are pulling. It just kind of goes. "There." I do see a little bit of just a little bit of them stacking down on the bottom, but I also see some big bids going down too. So maybe they're going to push it up again. That's interesting. I have so many things that I want to put on this chart. I'm starting to think about only having two. Like, honestly, only having two. Well, we're still positive on the week. It would take a lot to get us positive on the week. And positive on the hour. Oh, here we go. We got wind coming in. Oh, wait. I haven't, oh. Disc. For the May Day is the great song sung along the old straight track, and those who ancient lines did lay will heed his song that calls them back. Pass the cup, pass the lady, and pass the plate to all who hunger. Pass the wit of ancient wisdom, pass the cup of crimson wonder. Jeffro Toll, and I wish everyone a happy May Day. May Day, communist holiday. That's what I say. No. If you like Jeffro Toll or you want to show your appreciation for speculators, I've hit like. Thank you. I'll hit that like button. We appreciate it. They gonna turn back down? They could. They're kind of hinting at. Oh, there's another important thing I forgot to mention. We have the ISM number at 10 o'clock Eastern time, and that's a big number. So might have some interesting action until then.
Baron Glass says good morning Seth and chat. This is my first live broadcast. I'm learning about trading from the DOM, so it is nice to see live examples.
Oh, very good, Baron. So where have you been learning about it? Is there like a certain video series or education series that you've been looking at? Oh my god, I had a little bit of a turn up there, I think. Yep. Oh, actually, it was a bounce. It was a bounce. We've actually had a number of people come in this past week talking about the DOM specifically, which is kind of interesting to me because normally we'll get people that want to trade and they have no clue what the DOM is, and they're like, whoa, why is what you're showing so much different from what I normally see? And I made this post the other day. There's a Facebook group for like day traders. We have a couple of our own groups down in the video description. Not terribly active, but I've been trying to post in them every other day. And but there's a wide, larger, like the largest day trading Facebook group, and I was seeing a lot of people there, and so I made this post. So you ever seen that scene in Gone in 60 Seconds where he's at the Ferrari dealership and he's like, "Oh, I saw like 5 of these in the Starbucks this morning. That must mean that there's too many self-indulgent wieners with too much bloody money in this town." And I see all these people coming into trading, and I'm like, we are in a recession. People aren't supposed to want to trade. One of the ways that you know it's the bottom is when everybody, absolutely everybody, has sworn off trading in the stock market and they want nothing to do with it. I see all these people coming in. Not a knock on you, Baron, but kind of made me feel like I don't think that we have had a bottom yet.
Baron Glass says I am watching videos from Axia Futures. I found you through the Jigsaw review.
Yeah, the one where I talk about my platform. Axia, they are good. They're probably I would I think I consider them the best at this for sure. I don't know. I've never taken their education courses, so I don't know if I would pay for their education courses, but they post good information on their YouTube. At least it kind of gives you a hint of where to look. Jigsaw has a lot of free videos on their channel, and that is like one of the best places to look. That and the No BS day trading site. That's kind of what got me started. But I don't know. So do you see this again? I just want to point out here in the ES, we had a move down. Do you see how there's a bunch of these prices that didn't actually trade on the way down? You see these? That means that it ticked down. Nobody hit into it as it ticked down. So it actually went 1, 2, 3. Just slipped right through.
Winston's mom says we should all welcome Baron Glass and show him the ropes. Let's see, where do we start? First, the new guy has to buy the donuts. Second, the new guy has to like sun conures and ferrets. Third,
You have to like sun conures and ferrets. My wife is so mad at the sun conures right now. They do not like our our 8-year-old. I don't know what she did, but like they don't like her. If I let them out of the room, they'll go and attack her. But they've been loud lately. I let them out yesterday, and they calmed down. I think that I just need to work on it.
Baron Glass says yeah, I'm using the YouTube videos on both channels.
Well, let me tell you something, and this is something that I still believe. Right now I've been using I've been relying a little bit more on charts just because I'm investigating a particular strategy from somebody else, and so I'm trying to trade it exactly the way that they would trade it. I think yesterday I got a little bit off plan. Oh my gosh, yesterday, like it took this just choppy area yesterday before they started dropping, and I really got diced up in there. And then I was like, okay, well, I want to keep trading this, but we got to go. I left. Well, I stopped the stream. I did my morning meetings and everything, and then came back to it and saw that they were going down. And so I just all in on it, man. It's like I knew. I don't know what the deal is, but sometimes when those big ones come in, you just know, like, okay, this is going down. It's going down a lot. I can just sell it. And I made it, it came out on top for the day. But anyway, what was the point of that? Oh yeah, so I felt like I got a little bit off track yesterday. We might bring Bots in today if he's available to talk about it. But anyways, so I've been relying a little bit on charts lately because of that, but I still very very much believe in the DOM. And one of the things that I think really gives you a good edge in the DOM is just that there's not that many people doing it. I've come to find, like when you go into the futures day trading Facebook groups and futures IO and things like that, the number of people out there that have actually put the work in to understand what's going on the DOM and really trade with it, very, very few people. And so it really is a true edge. Maybe if on the 10-year treasury, because I think it's really hard to trade the 10-year treasury without seeing the DOM. But like the E-mini, none of those guys are using the DOM. And I think there's some things that you can see in it. I think you need to have a chart too, but there are some things that you can see, on the DOM that you just can't see any other way. And I think that there is a real edge in it. I'm working right now on trying to quantify some of the things that we see in the DOM. Trying to quantify what I see in the DOM so that I can kind of give ourselves a little bit better of a entries and exits. But I think it's more complicated than that. I really want to get into I really want to do something complicated. I that's really the only way that I can explain it. But I think that where we really need to make some improvements is in our risk model, because I think that we're all using a linear risk model. Like we say, okay, you take a trade, it's likely to go this far, and here's the distribution of returns off of this particular trade, and how many favorable ticks it tends to be and how many adverse ticks it tends to be. Now there's some work that we can do on that. Maybe some things that would give us a little bit better of an idea about where we're standing and what the averages are at the moment. But I also feel like that model doesn't really make sense, because you'll get this thing where it's like, okay, the average true range right now is 8 ticks, and then I've made more than 8 ticks, and you get those all the time. And it's like there's a certain point at which it goes that it's likely to keep going, but then it'll stop and it'll pull back a certain amount. And then you might be able to get even more, but you have to stay in it. And should you really stay in it? Like, what is the opportunity? Like, it's way more complicated than it just being linear. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to figure out. I maybe have something to do with fractals. I really want to read Mandelbrot's book, because he talks about risk from a fractal, but he's not talking about it from a day trading position. He's talking about it from a portfolio position. But maybe there are some things that we can glean from that. I think that we can make something that's way more complicated to give us better edge in terms of managing our entries. So one of the things that I'm finding is that a lot of the more complicated ways of managing your risk dealing with multiple contracts. But what if you just all in, all out, or you're trading one contract? Then how do you manage it? This is very difficult, and I think that this is one of the major reasons why most day traders aren't profitable, is because they're not able to take advantage of the significant edges from managing the risk with multiple contracts. So anyways, that's kind of where my thinking is. We really want to do something complicated, but I also think we need to collect some stats on these level 2 things that I'm seeing in the E-mini. Okay, yeah, bot says yes. Let me get a team viewer session up one. Hopefully we don't like crash or anything like that. Oh, that's not what we want. I don't think that's what we want. I just crashed it. Oh, that's funny. Maybe calculate the average time between price pivots on different time charts, such as 1 minute and 5 minute. Oh, we did that. Remember? Oh, well, we can add it. So I had an idea, but let me get you on here, John, first, and then I'll share with you my idea. Start a meeting. Presentation. Oh, here it is. Okay, copy to clipboard. I don't think we calculated the average time. I think we did the average number of ticks. If we didn't, we could do it really quickly. We could, but I think I did. Okay, there's the meeting ID bots. There we go. I'll unmute myself on Team Viewer and also assign as a presenter. Okay. Can you hear me, bots? Hear me, John? He's probably still. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, good here.
Awesome. And can you see my screen already?
Yes.
Cool. So what did I want to show you?
All nice and clear.
Oh, you did not confirm you already become the presenter. Okay, whatever. I have like a trillion things I want to talk about. Let me give an outline. I want to talk about the dump trades made yesterday. And the super smoother thing. But I also had an idea about the ATR. And we can do that pivot thing. Let's do the pivot thing first because you were talking about it. Let me see if I have it. Let's see here. Price pivot height distribution profile. Yeah, I did.
So
I made both of them. Let's make a new chart. On the ES, do 5-minute bars and load let's load 30 days. No, let's load 90 days. No tick replay or any of that noise. Okay. Cool. Oh, that loaded fast. All right. Indicators. So we got price pivots, height distribution profile, and time distribution profile. Will they work? Chart froze. That's not a good sign. This is where NinjaTrader can get dangerous because you're modifying charts. That's when sometimes NinjaTrader will die on you. Well, I'm still getting level. No. Okay. Yes, it worked. Okay, so I'm just gonna cover this screen here for a second. Sorry, guys. So you won't be able to see the DOMs for a second. Okay, so here's the height of them. Oh, wait, what? Oh, there's just a lot that are really far away. So on a 5-minute bar, they tend to go down on lengths of 20 ticks at a time, but they can be as wide as 100 or more. Whoop, there we go. It's not until you get to 150 on the downs. Oh, and interesting, the down swings tend to be bigger. But definitely 23 and 16 on the upside for that. And then time, I think this is number of bars. Time, they tend to be 2 to 8 bars. So, and then on our price pivots, it shows you the thing too. It shows ticks and bars. So right now it's saying that on average 3.5 bars on a 1-minute chart. I think I gave you those, but maybe you had problem getting them to work, John? Yeah. Wait, he muted himself. Oh, you don't remember seeing those? Well, I will add them to you for you. I will send them to you here again. Why'd you mute yourself? Indicators. Oh, eating a bowl of cereal. Okay. Okay, there's those two things. Okay, well then if you're still eating, then we should go and show. Did I just close that window? No, I didn't. Let's close that window. So it's not eating up memory. Okay, next thing. So here's my idea. Man, I have too much stuff on here.
I didn't think everybody needed to hear me crunching away here.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Oh man,
I know you don't mind doing it, but I'm shyer than you are.
Well, I've been starting on later because when I'm not done eating, because I feel like it's really important to have a good start, intro. So I've been trying like I'd rather start the stream real late than eat on stream now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, oh man, that super smoother makes it so messy.
What do you mean?
It just makes it hard for me to see what's going on because there's so much on the chart. That's all.
Do you have it set to typical?
Yes.
Okay.
Typical 10 and 2.
Well, right now it's messy anyway. I mean, we're in a 5-point range.
Yeah, we might be really
been for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we might be pretty tight until the 10 o'clock news, I'm thinking. Although, man, it was really oh, and the treasuries came down there.
I noticed Ninja Brokerage put their margins back to normal for the MES and the ES.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which means the volatility must be gone, or they wouldn't have done that.
Well, that just means that it's time to blow everybody's accounts again. We exceeded the volatility range on our VIX projection last night, so I'm a little triggered. Like I'm sitting here like this is too high. We're down on the day. We're below where that reversal day from Wednesday was. I'm all geared up for a short, but I know that I can't predict it. I have to say. Anyways.
Well, and we're going to break the week's open at 28.29, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, is it 28.29?
Yeah, that was the open of the week.
Okay. I was like, I know it's close, but I couldn't see it on my chart.
Yeah, they got to like 30.75 in the overnight.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I don't want to show it on this chart. I'm gonna add a new chart. Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry. It's 28.21.
Oh, okay.
Not 28.29.
Let me double check here. Yeah, 28.21.75.
Right.
Anyways, new.
Oh, I know what it is. I had a Ninja daily chart up instead of my usual 1440 minute chart.
Gotcha. Oh man, it really is tight. I did not realize. Okay. So I really like this thing that you made, the ATR trailing stop.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. So this is with the default settings. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
5 bars, 3.5 times ATR.
Yep. Now, one of the things I've seen out there is there's like ATR bands. I don't know if that's
Mhm.
like a similar thing to this, but because I've been thinking, like, first of all, shouldn't you be able to do like the opposite and have an ATR profit and have an area where, hey, it's gone past where it should, and that's where you should take profit? Seems like that should be, although I don't know a whole lot about how this is actually generated, other than that it's from the ATR and that, it kind of declines as the period moves through, right? But so that was my first thought was, okay, so like I could come in here and I could add the ATR trailing stop again, but let's say that we're doing double the period. Let's say that we're doing 10 bars. And what does that look like? Okay, a little different, right?
Yeah, not hugely different, but a little different.
Yeah, a little different. ATR trailing stop V2, 15. Okay, even more significantly different.
But
So,
the point is, it's not going to be hugely different because the average true range is what it is, right? It's not going to change in 5 or 10 bars.
well, it would change if, so the more significant of a move we had recently, the bigger that's probably going to be, right? Especially if we started to get out into like really big numbers. So let's try and add one that's really big. So if I add one that's like 100 bars. Oh, actually, that one's not that. That one's probably going to be more stable, right? I guess it's the shorter time periods are going to be more weird.
Mhm.
Um, and then if we were to change it from a 1 minute chart to a 5 minute chart, that would be a different sort of a thing too, right?
Right.
You're going to have a much wider stop because the average true range of the bars is bigger.
Right.
In fact, we could go back, like, let's do it this way. Let's go back to a 1 minute chart. Get rid of all of these for a second. We got the 1 minute chart, and then let's add a 5 minute chart onto the back of it. So this will be ES 5 minute charts, multi-period candles. Okay. Cool. That looks terrible. So let's fix that a little bit. Make it way more transparent. Okay, and move it to the back. Or is it Alt? Which way you gotta push? It never works the first time. There we go. Let's just get rid of these outlines. That'll fix it. Okay. Okay, cool. So now let's add those indicators back on. We'll add 2 of them. Okay, but this one we will put to the 5 minute chart. Okay. Ah. Okay. Very, very different because it's much wider, right? So I'm thinking maybe the period doesn't make as big of a difference as I thought it did. But maybe what we could do is we could make like a bands sort of a thing. So we can make one that on the indicator I can say what time frame I want the average true range to be based on. and it will just count the number of bars to calculate it instead of having to have multiple data series on there. And then you could have bands. So you could say, okay, this is where 1 minute players are hitting the ATR stop. This is where 5 minute players are hitting the ATR stop. This is where 30-minute and daily and all of these different time frames are, right? And you can have like bands, and you could like color it or something like that. Kind of like the way that they do with um, VWAP bands. And then there was another component. What was it? I guess not. Time and period. Oh, and so then there was another question that I had was, is there a way to involve volume on it? So like, if there was a big volume cluster right here, then what the ATR stop from that is more important than other particular prices, Because I want to get like a map of like, spots that they're going to try and visit to try and screw people over. But then that got me thinking on this whole thing that it's like, say you want to use ATR as your profit target, right? Like you want a certain multiple of the average true range to be your profit target. Well, if I'm holding it for 5 minutes, that makes sense. But then if I hold it for 30 minutes, don't I want to be taking my profit target to be the based on the ATR of the 30 minutes? And so on and so forth. And like the longer you're in the trade, the higher of the time frame that you need to keep in there, right?
Let's switch those 5-minute, switch that 5-minute period to a 30-minute period.
Okay. Oh, does it delete the indicator when you do that?
Shouldn't have.
No, it says it's on there. I don't see the line. Oh, it's because it's so far away. Wow.
Right.
You would have to bring it. You'd have to bring the multiple down a lot, huh?
No, why would you do that? It's giving you an accurate number.
Well, yeah, but it's just, I don't know if you would ever. Well, do we ever even touch it? I guess we do.
We cross it.
Significant reversal point there as well. That was when things really started getting scary. But there is two properties here. I guess is the thing that I was getting, because there's the multiplier, right? So we could
We'll change it to 1.
Change
just
it
to
to
see what
1.
it looks like.
Now it's pretty close.
Yep.
Still crosses at the same point too, which is interesting. So I'm wondering if there's a way that we can what I'm not quite sure what the right word is, but like heat map it, So like have it run this calculation on different multiples and different time periods, and then color the background based on what it's getting. Because if you've got two properties here, in order to really accurately show you would need like a 3D graph. So instead of doing a 3D graph, you can use color.
Mm-hmm.
So the y could be oh, I don't know. We'd have to come, because I don't know.
You mentioned earlier about looking at where little volume clusters were. I thought they had something in the order flow tools that already did that.
Well, they do. I guess what I was getting at though is, yeah, so let's put that on there. Order flow, trade detector. That's what we want. Will it show us any? It says it's calculating.
You got 90 days on that chart.
Oh yeah, it might take a little while. Oh no, I only have 5 days on this chart. Okay, so now you can see them. That's actually too many.
Well, you can filter them, right? Adjust them.
Yeah, let's adjust it.
It's the E-mini, so minimum volume should be like 1,000.
Okay, so now you can see some. That was the close. Here's one. So from here, from this point right here, you can see that the ATR stop was right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did they do? Right back to it to stop them out. So I'm wondering if you could do a sort of a thing where when you get a cluster like that, like we could, well, we can't modify that particular indicator, but we could probably pretty easily make our own like that, right? That when you get a cluster, it would draw lines out from that cluster to say these are the areas, and we'd have to do a study to determine how far away from it they really have to get. But as targets for if you wanted to stop somebody out big, these are the spots that you would want to go to.
But unfortunately, you're not going to see that until after the fact, right?
Well, I think that so let me just take them off so that we can see a little better here. I think we could do something like this. It'll just draw a line right here and right here. And then when it gets touched, we stop drawing the line. Maybe even get rid of the other line. So if it started one, you would see it's starting. They're looking to see, can we stop this guy out? Same with these price discovery bars.
Just put your cursor over that ball. What does it say?
Says volume 1,193.
So the sell volume was 996 and the bid volume was 197.
Mm-hmm.
So those are shorts getting stopped out?
So I think
no.
Well, so let me see if I understand. Well, let's go back and read their documentation first before I got to make sure that I'm understanding this the way that theirs works correctly first before I explain what I think is going on there. Because it does not necessarily mean, it might not 100% mean what we think. Okay. Overview. We can see where considerable volume has occurred, where the settings that we input markers are plotted on the last, hovering over the mouse. Trade marker will display information about the market by default. Here, there was a volume of 600 on the sell side and 310 on the buy side. It doesn't explain it. I would have to see one as it happens.
And how many bars is it on? One bar?
I think it's from one bar. You can change whether it's requires a consistent bid or ask. It doesn't say. In Jigsaw, it's the market orders. So, like, if you see 996 sell, what that means is 996 market orders sold into one big iceberg, right? So obviously there's two sides to it. So I don't think that you can go in and say, okay, 996, we want to wait for the shorts to get stopped out. All it means is 1,000 people entered into a trade right there, and one side or the other is going to lose. And how far does it have to go for those sides to capitulate? Essentially.
Can you put delta on that chart? Order flow delta.
Sure. How about we use Sims? You don't want cumulative delta, you want delta.
Right.
We need to try.
You need tick replay for his. You didn't need it for theirs. Anyway.
Yeah, I want to know how they do that without the tick replay. But I just beat out a little pivot there, but it was pretty uneventful.
I just wonder how accurate their number even is.
Oh, sure. Well, they're trying to detect an iceberg, so the delta for the bar is probably going to be different.
Can you read me the numbers from that bar again?
There, now it shows up. Where were we looking? Oh, it's still calculating.
It's still calculating. It was 996 was one of the numbers.
Yep. Does anyone have experience using CR charts? So there's a couple of people, that guy, that definitely are using it, especially if you go into the Discord. CR charts is actually quite popular. Chart is unresponsive. Oh, Ninja Trader. I think that they would save themselves a lot of headaches if, when it was still loading data, they just had like a big waiting shows over the whole chart or something. Okay,
so it was back farther.
Oh yeah, we were looking way back. It's this one.
Yeah, there you go. So what is it? 996 and 197.
Let's try and zoom into it really hard. 996 and 197. And you can see that it does show up to 1,000 on the delta, but then that it came back.
So if that's right, then delta should be 799. What's delta say?
For that bar, it says 0.
52.
Because you see, it's saying that there was one price. Let me show you here on the DOM. What it's saying is that we moved all, from here to here, but when we got here, they had to take 734 contracts before they could get through that individual price. Right. So it's trying to detect an iceberg.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that if we did something like this that I would necessarily even care about an iceberg. Just so much as like a particular set of prices that had a lot of trade on them, and we can just like draw a little range around it and then see how likely those are to get touched. And I bet you that they probably would get touched a lot. probably maybe even both sides of them. I mean, if you look at this one, they really did they touched the bottom side of it and they touched the top side of it.
Yeah.
It's like both sides get stopped out. Oh, they're buying it now. Look at that.
Yeah, they sure are.
They're gonna get all the way up above the.
Did you see that big volume spike yesterday at 3:51 Eastern, like 9 minutes before the close?
No,
Oh, it was ridiculous.
big sell.
Yeah, like it even dwarfed the 4 o'clock close.
Really?
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'll scroll back here.
Well, they're sure buying it there.
At 19,161 contracts on a 1 minute bar.
What?
Yeah, 19,000 contracts. And the
Huh.
bar before it was 4,600 contracts.
And did you see similar on other markets? Wait,
No,
so
but I've seen it at this time of day, like 10 minutes before the New York close, multiple times now.
well, there's that. There's those market on close orders we've been
Yeah,
talking
but that's
about.
not 10 minutes before the close.
No, yeah, it's 10 minutes before the close. We've been talking about it in the Discord because I didn't believe them. Yeah, so
I thought
like
it was 1 minute before the close.
I don't I like okay, so that's it
Yeah,
right
right
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, at 1351. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that one's different. The thing that I've been seeing is at 1350 on my chart. 10 minutes before the close. On the dime, like literally on to the second. A huge sweep will come.
Hmm.
Just tons of
Just
orders.
before this.
Yeah. In this case, maybe because of the way that I have my chart set up, that ends up in the 1351 bar or something. Because I do think that's it. Maybe if I change this to a range bar, I can tell. Because it always confuses me. Yeah, it was at 1350. Yeah. So they told me that these are actually the market on close orders, that the market on close orders hit 10 minutes before they close. And I was like, that don't make any sense. Why don't they call them 10 minutes before market on close?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be 1 minute before?
But it happens every day. Some are bigger than others, but it happens every day that I've watched it. I don't watch it every day because I'm usually working at that time.
That's weird.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was market on close orders. I mean, that just doesn't even make any sense. Because you can set
Right.
the time in NinjaTrader for when you want your market on close order to execute.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can dial it right in the in your options settings.
Hold on. I should. So anyways, so there was that. But then the other thing was, I was kind of saying to these guys a little bit earlier on the average true range sort of a thing is like, when you get in a trade, right? And maybe I'm scalping. Maybe the average true range on a 1 minute bar is what I care about, right? But then when I've been in it for 2 minutes and for 5 minutes and for 10 minutes, the average true range that I really should be looking at increases. Right? So then
Right.
you can create like this. There's like a, oh my gosh, how can I explain this? It's, you're getting into things where it's like my ability to what is the word, like my short-term
Enunciate?
memory. No, my short-term memory is not enough to describe this all. Okay.
Let's
So
see.
so here is a 3D graph, and here is
I get it. Time on the bottom.
I think I want to do it is this one is time, and this one is the ATR, the range, and oh, no, wait. You're right. It's not quite like that. It's like this is time. This
Right.
is period. Period meaning the range, like the time period of your chart.
Yeah, 1, 5, 15, 30.
Yeah, and this is your range. So then, as P gets larger, you should expect it to get bigger.
Right. Which you just proved when you had multiple copies of it on there.
Right. And so you kind of get this big 3D graph. And then you can point out when you took the trade, and you could basically graph a line of where you are in this cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And then, hopefully that tells you something about where you're at now, because you can say, okay, I've exceeded what the average 5-minute range was when I got into the trade, but then something has changed since then and the 5-minute range has increased. But then when I look at it on the 30-minute range, I can see it here, and I can kind of tell when I get to the edges of certain things, there might be a particular spot at which it makes more sense to take it off. But I would need to like see the surface of it.
Mm.
But that's where I was saying what I could do is we could say, okay, back to our chart. Okay. So on a 5-minute basis, this is the range. And on a 15-minute basis, this is the range. But I can color it differently, essentially, right? So then you should get all of these bands, and you can kind of project the bands forward a little bit to say, okay, this is where I got in. This is how much I've been making on it. And yada, yada, yada. Anyways. Or I could just like, it's something that like, as soon as you get into a trade, it starts graphing this, right? So it is like the range profile of your trade. Hey, Arcages, how are you? I wonder if anybody's ever tried to make a 3D graph in NinjaTrader. Oh man, if we made a 3D graph in NinjaTrader, that could be so cool. I don't think that I could do it in NinjaTrader though. I think I would have to split it into its own window. This is one of those thoughts where it's like, it seems like a cool idea, right? I don't know if it would be useful or not. It would be a lot of work. Would it end up being worth all of the work, But that's the idea.
So you're saying you would reset this ATR calculation based on where you entered from?
Yeah, I think that I would want to reset this based on, or I mean, I don't know. It kind of just depends on how you graph it, but the gist of it is that you would want to use this 3D surface to judge your own particular trade. So you would need to be able to see where you got in from and what all of the average true ranges are going to be from that spot. Right? Because what I'm saying is we do it like this is what we do. Is we say I get in on a 1 minute bar. And when I get in on a 1 minute bar, the probability of how much I get on that is like this. On like a 1 minute or a 5 minute bar. Right? And what I'm saying is, but on a 10-minute bar, it's like this. You know? And on a 15-minute bar, oh, so that's this one. And then on a 15-minute bar, it's going to be even a little bit higher. Right? So it's this expanding thing that you've got. And at some point, you'll be able to see when we look at my profit on this line going up on the surface, at which, if I project it back out, I've made more than I should have expected to see on a 1 minute bar. Right? But then this is just projecting. This is where I'm saying it gets complicated because I know this is getting like way too okay. When I get in, we're saying here is like the ranges over time. It goes up like that, you know. But at this point right here, there was also a 30-minute range that was like way up here, right? So you should be able to see the point at which you passed the 30-minute range from that point.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, you started that process when you put those multiple copies on there, right?
Yes. Well, we had to add multiple series for it, but yes.
Well, why don't you just try that with 2 or 3 series, like a 1 and a 5 and a 15, or a 1 and a 3 and a 15. Just put 3 different series on your chart and
yeah, let's do that.
And put 3 sets of those indicators on, tie them to the different ones, and
now let's just remove all this. And I'm just going to make these all boxes. That'll make it a little bit less complicated. You can't move it up. I don't know if that matters, but
can't move what up.
The order of them. We'll just do it like that. Okay, here's the open, by the way, while we're digging around. Cells on the open. Okay. We'll move them all up here. Oh, we lost one. We lost one. Hold on. It's this one. Okay. What do you got to do to make it go to the back? It's you click on it and you press Alt and scroll wheel, right?
No, Shift and scroll wheel.
You click on it, Shift, scroll. Okay, now we got it. All right. Okay. It looks like a total mess, but it's fine. Indicators. And we're going to go and add our ATR. Now on all of these, I'm going to change the multiplier to be 1, right? Okay. And this one's going to be 1, 5, 10. Eric Cages is like, I was wondering why everybody was so quiet. It's because we're like deep in contemplation of this strategy. Wow, they sold really hard on the open, and then look at them take off. Okay. Let's see if Ninja Trader can handle it. Ba-da-da-da. Okay, so you get this incredibly complicated. Oh, is it possible to like? Did that? It didn't change the series that it's working on, did it? No, it did not. Okay, cool. So we don't really need to have these all. There we go. Okay. So these series we don't really need. Okay. There you go. So now you can kind of see a little bit. Maybe this is just straight up a better way to show it. Because maybe we should color them differently. I'm going to color them differently, okay?
Sure.
I'm just going to change the yellows. So the 1 minute is going to be white, and the 5 is going to be like a really bright silver.
It's going to look almost the same.
Yeah, almost the same. I just want them to be kind of like just enough so that I can tell which one is which. Dark gray, dim gray. Wait, what? Where'd my white one go? Oh, that is the white one. Is that the white one?
Still calculating.
Oh, it's still calculating. That's why. Okay, cool. Okay. So now we can see here where, but this isn't actually the range, is it? This is just showing us from the range where we're at. But there's spots where they cross, right? So,
well, it's just a trailing stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the actual true range.
True. Maybe we should add those. Less tinkering, more trading. You're missing some good action. No, I'm avoiding it. I'm avoiding it up until 8:00. Then we'll look at where we're at. Well, maybe the 15 minutes before. We'll see. ATR.
Well, that's just going to show up in the bottom of the chart.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's totally fine, actually. 1, 5. 10, 15. Dun, 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 dun.
There. If you take those 3 data series above you there,
Wait, on an overlay scale or on a, no? I think that, oh, what the heck? Is it just saying that it's too different from the rest of it to, oh wow.
yeah, you've got some flip left and right there because you don't have it set to overlay.
Yeah, but it wouldn't let me. Well, now it does. Now it's fine. Now it's fine. Okay, now we gotta go and change the freaking lines. White. Light gray. Dark gray. Dim gray. Does anyone know why I struggle with the NT8 workspaces? I don't know, Ace. Is it, are you, I don't know. Oh, that's super interesting, guys. Some days the charts all load fine, and others I have to build them from scratch. What is short? No, I'm not going to trade that first 15 minutes. It's going to be so volatile. You're trying to make me FOMO into a trade, aren't you? Aren't you? Well, the thing is that we're like basically where we started. Like, we had a really strong move up, and I feel like that they are. There's a lot of people just getting into trades when there's not the real event hasn't happened yet. I hate to see good volatility go to waste. No, Aaron Kane, see, you're trying to trick us into making bad trades. When I click the saved workspaces, nothing happens ever. They either open from the day before or they don't. Well, I only open one workspace at a time. Like, I don't switch between these very often. I only have workspaces for like when I completely want to change it, and I'll open this one and I'll close this one. In fact, I shouldn't have that one open. And then when you close, you got to make sure that you save the changes that you made to the workspace, of course. I do save under a new day name, but it doesn't seem to help. Are you saying you have to build them from scratch sometimes? So you're saying that it just doesn't save your changes. You're saving it, but then when you open it, it doesn't do what it's supposed to. Huh. It is a little weird. And you're sure that the windows just aren't opening on like a off screen or something like that? Correct, I think, but I can work on it. I mean, you should only need one workspace, right? I would hope. Pretty sure. Get back to trading. Well, I'm avoiding it, and we were doing a little bit of a study here, right? Come get short in. I mean, I'm really tempted to sell it short, but the problem that I'm having is that I think, well, let's get this out of the way and bring it down here. We'll bring that back up maybe when John comes back. For the bond market, is the high momentum time frame? Is there a high momentum time frame like the cash open on the indices? Oh, so Baron, the time that the treasuries are going to move is when the news comes out. Especially that 8:30 news. When there's 8:30 news, the equity indexes aren't up and they often don't move as much, and the the sorry, the treasuries are like usually the way that people play it. So if you want like you want something like that on the treasury, then you want to trade during the news. Now it's interesting because you can actually get really high probability reads in the news action, but it's also still high risk, so it's kind of hard. Whereas in the E-mini, I feel like some of those opening moves are both high risk and low probability. Okay, so there is Okay. So they're still in price discovery. They're suggesting that they might want to turn back up, but that I think that eventually they're going to fail. We might get a little move up and then have it flip on us. Well, the tick just barely went positive there for a moment. More than 58,000 Americans have died from COVID-19. It looks like the bonds are falling down because the equities aren't just completely puking here. I do think that they'll go and get that point of control down below us at some point, but maybe it doesn't happen today. I don't know. I must be in love with Seth again. Stay away. Hey Gary, thanks for coming in. You missed our little ATR noise. We were doing a little thing with the average true range and saying, what if we made an average true range indicator that showed you what the average true range and ATR stops were for multiple time frames, and you can kind of see some spots where they cross over that kind of end up becoming like significant and stuff. See, like this down here. If they decide to go down, wouldn't be surprised if they try and tag 2840. There and there. And there. Could probably come in and look at where certain volume events are and then kind of try and decipher which spots they're going to want to come back to again. That's what I'm thinking. That's kind of what I want to do with it. I'll turn on the auto reader for you guys. It looks like buyers are going to make a run at that open again. 2850 50, 2850 25. $10 to the news. I'm tempted to do something here, but I'm going to wait for the news. Going to wait for ISM.
Gary Rich says at ACE, well, Amazon workers call in sick day. Again, my Colombian wife will again be delayed. Gary Rich says today is a day off for me.
When you first said that, it took me a second to process the joke. I'm like, Gary Rich is Colombian. He has a Colombian. Oh, no, wait. That's the joke. Yeah, see, they're chipping and chopping away. So did I say 2840? Yeah, there's quite a bit of absorption there. They sure turned back down fast though, didn't they? Okay, new low. They must be expecting this number to be really bad. Well, they recovered that quickly too.
Ace Trade says at Gary Rich, you can't find 10 minutes to get into a trade and pick up a couple of dollars?
No, I think it's that he made his money and he doesn't want to put any risk on today, and I don't blame him. I gotta say, today looks like a sketchy day. Like, it looks like it should just be falling apart. Maybe it will after the news. So far, it hasn't done it. I really think that we could hit that. We Okay, so let's just look over here. The numbers we're looking for: manufacturing, EMI, looking for a reading of 36.9 versus previous reading of 49.1. Manufacturing employment, we're looking for a reading of 37 versus a previous reading of 43.8. And prices, we're looking for a reading of 35 versus a previous reading of 37.4. But the PMI number is the headline number. Mm-hmm. There he is.
So did you give up on that?
No, I just put it away because you were gone. But it did some interesting things. So like this spot down here, these are kind of where I'm wondering is like, oh, there's the news. Okay, it's pretty volatile, and they're higher. I'm not getting the numbers quite yet. Okay, some impulses lower, but nothing yet. My oh my. Okay, manufacturing 41.5 versus the 36 that we were expecting. Higher than expected. That is good. Wonder why this isn't updating yet. There we go. Okay. Employment was 27.5 versus the expected 37. Prices were 35.3 versus the expected 35. So Treasury is probably not moving too much, huh? Well, they did move down a little bit, actually. Employment, that's definitely worse than expected, but the PMI is a lot better than expected. And you can get this massive. Well, I don't know if that short's ever going to happen. Certainly not now that we're above the hour open and probably about to make a new high. In fact, it's right there. Hmm. They're stopping there just short of that high, huh? Hmm. Back to the open. Yeah, they always spend a lot of time when they come back to that open price. I'm finding that it's rare that they just blow through the open. They'll kind of go back and forth for a few minutes and then they'll decide to go one way or the other.
And the full session VWAP was pretty much right at the open too.
Yeah. I think that,
VWAP 2850 and the open's 50 quarter.
yeah, I only have the extended session VWAP on here and it's 2849.50. So they're all kind of close. I bet you that if they beat out that initial pivot high from shortly after the open, that things will start to get exciting. They kind of had an odd. I'm actually quite surprised that they didn't take it that last test of it. Came up short. Hmm. Still slow going up there, and a lot trading at 54. Comment in the ISM manufacturing report: COVID-19 has destroyed our market and our company. Without a full recovery very soon and some assistance, I fear our ability to continue operations. So there was 1,000 at 28.54.50. I'm just going to mark that. No inside bar there at 53. Oh my. That was a real failure that time. I guess we can try short now. Oh. Well, they look like they've kind of settled into range mode here. Like they didn't extend on the upside, and now they're not extending on the downside either. maybe now. Hmm. Pretty tight action so far. Still. I'm also not really seeing the offers come in. Okay. Well, they broke the last swing low, but they're not pushing. Somebody buying down there. If they make this low, it's going to get ugly. Because somebody's definitely loading up there. Almost there. Come on. Yep, buyer's still there. I did extend it by a tick. Okay. There it is. Okay, pull back. Actually, right about where it should have happened. Still significant drop there. I'm feeling the sleepiness coming on again for some reason. See, that move down was good, but because I have that ATR there, I can see that on the higher time frames, it was not expanding the range really. they were a little shy of it before it pulled back. Somebody just pulled a huge amount off of the bid in the 10-year. 31.5. So they let it drop there. Actually, there's quite a few thousand pulls there. Hmm. Haven't felt this I'm not saying a whole lot. I'm just watching it. Maybe it'd be better if I talk more. Because I'm not talking, I'm like getting super sleepy. I just I I did get the move I wanted down, but then they come back pretty fast. I don't know. I guess I haven't been trailing my stop down the way I should. Hmm. He really wanted it up there.
Jerry is awake, says I took a beating yesterday. Today I gotta lick my wands.
Yeah. Well, I got a good trade there and I didn't take my profits. And I'm trying to figure out, I guess I didn't even think about moving my stops and everything, but that move up there was a little much. He really was pushing for something, wasn't he? There was this second where it was like, this might turn into a turn back down, and then all of a sudden the buyer came and saved it. And he pushed it really, really hard. The 10 a.m. news number was 2847.50.
Bot says testing the 10 a.m. news number 2847.50.
Okay, well, I think I screwed up this trade, and the ones before that were just no-goes. Okay. So I
Bot
don't
says
know.
945 news number was 2845.75.
So that move down right there, I don't think that necessarily confirms that we're going to go and push down for another new low, but it does look like that the price discovery process is starting up again. So we could get it. Yep. Look at this.
Bot says the flip on the new 10:30 hour open is also at 2847.50.
You see how he bid it up, and then when it got up there, he pulled him.
Bot says yep.
Have yet to see significant offers though come in and do anything.
Michael ATF says, hi Seth, are you trading on live or demo? If live, can I telephone me? How do you cope with this positive drawdown?
Well, so I am trading in demo. And part of it is I feel like that we're trying to practice this strategy and I'm starting to feel a little lost. But normally we would stop it. So I say I guess you can give yourself a little bit more room on the minis, like maybe 5 in a row, but you just stop and wait for a better day. Or at least stop for like 30 minutes or something like that and wait for different action. Right? That is the expanding range we're talking about.
Michael ATF says okay. Thanks.
So, I mean, one of the things is you really want to know what the what your numbers are, like how common is a drawdown like that for you? If it's not common, then you should stop trading it because that means that there's something unique about that day that just is hitting you just right. Hmm. See, so there's the expansion again. Well, the big orders associated with it, but yeah. And back through the open. So part of it is that they were trying to hold them for too long, but it also just looks like it's incredibly range bound. So now we're back to maybe you take a long. The treasuries are getting killed, dude. Dead. I wonder if I'm getting this because it's Friday.
Aben Nisik says at Michael ATF I would like to hear more about what a positive drawdown is.
Oh, I think he meant to say a negative drawdown. Did CB just break
Baron
through the
Glass
daily
says so
low you
Seth
did?
did ZB just break through the daily low?
Oh yeah, they broke very much so. Let's just come in here and load up the levels so we can see where they are a little bit better. Oh, that doesn't help at all.
Baron Glass says trying to figure out your setup. Ace Trade says okay, we are going short 3,847.50.
Oh, you think so?
Ace Trade says ups 2,847.50.
a slightly different number. Hmm. Yeah, that one that worked in my favor, I did get 30 ticks out of it, but that really
Michael
shouldn't
ATF says at Aben
be.
Nisick, it's when you are in profit, let's say 20 ticks in the market pullback to your entry point. Ace Trade says now 2,848.25.
Right. Oh, yeah. Hold up.
Bot says Treasury's getting killed might have something to do with the latest comments from your toddler-in-chief about new trade sanctions for China in retaliation for the COVID-19 pandemic.
Ace Trade says at Michael ATF that sounds like poor trade management.
Well, so you gotta. Well, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. That like you get it to go a certain amount in your favor, and then if you hold it long enough, it's likely to come back. But then, if you really want to catch a runner, then you kind of have to just hold your risk, and then the next wave it should get even further. So a lot of it depends on how good your signal is supposed to be for. The one that I'm trading, it could
Bot says
be
it's
good
just more
for all
confusion
hour.
concern for the markets.
Yeah, I don't know if that's why they're doing it. I mean, well, so let's see here. They started dumping at 8:34. I actually don't see anything on the news squawks in that time period. Unless he said something that's not showing up on Twitter yet, I doubt that that's it. It looks to me like they dumped because the E-mini went positive up there again. You can see here our short never happened. It's close.
Bot says Treasury's actually started selling about an hour after London opened last night.
Well, okay, yeah. I guess if we go like all the way back. That last wave though was really. I'm actually getting some things that let's try this one out. We'll put it there. It's telling me that they might come back to the opening range.
RJ Wheel says I want bots to say Lieutenant. See if the accent is Lef or Lou.
Bot says Lieutenant Dan.
Wait, I didn't know that people say a left.
RJ Wheel says RJ Wheels says awesome. Calvin Malambo says ZB downside TGT 180.00 area. Ace Trade says short 2850.75. RJ Wheel says that's pretty impressive, the robot does that.
Bot says by cracky that's the Brit way.
Oh, you guys are great. So our range is still 3. I want to hold it longer than that. In fact, 47.50. Let's see if it actually comes through.
Ace Trade says there is 2.
Yeah, there's 2. I took a little bit lower than you. Well, the 10-year didn't really punch the way that I wanted it to there. Didn't mean to click there. $47.50.
Air Cages says what did I miss?
So close. Oh, not much. I haven't really gotten one to go.
Ace Trade says me giving out a good signal worth $100 a contract.
$100 for a full ES contract. Yes. They're very close to a couple of dominoes falling, and it's not happening.
JB says just starting with Ninja Trader, I think I did the same thing today you did last week. I thought I was going MES but entered
man.
S. Yikes. This is going to take a bit to get used to. Air Cages
Yeah.
says almost thought Seth was trading the ES.
Trump advisor Kudlow, China will be held accountable for coronavirus. This just goes back to the way that treasuries behaved during the trade war, right? It was a little erratic, and we had a hard time deciphering if treasuries thought that it was bullish or bearish, up until the point that it started to really hurt
Air Cages
stocks, and
says,
then
why
they
did you
just
switch it to
traded
the
counter to
left?
stocks.
Ace Trade says, speaking of NT, any idea how to keep the DOM from jerking around? I miss Sierra charts.
You can't. They used to have a static DOM, and they got rid of it. The NT DOM sucks, man. That is the problem.
All you got to do is hold his mouse over top of the.
Oh, well, yeah, you can do that. But then it doesn't update what
the center of the dome.
You can't see where it's moved to. But you're right. That if you are using the NinjaTrader Dome and you want to enter an order, the thing that you should do is put your mouse over the center so that it doesn't move on you. But the Sierra Charts one is better.
Ace Trade says it makes trading from the DOM, which is key to my strategy, impossible. Or
Oh, you think
almost.
so? Interesting. Yeah. Take that one long.
Jerry is awake says at JB I did same thing yesterday.
Well, that was kind of a curious little move up there. Sure came back quickly.
JB says part of the learning process for sure ended okay, but yikes, and the heart did skip a beat.
Well, did it end up being a good trade, though?
JB says one tick positive. JB says so, yes.
Come on. Where does this fall in treasuries? But oh, it's about yesterday's low. I don't know if we should be getting too excited about the drop in the bond until it's like, well below yesterday's range. Or at least the 10-year. I guess maybe the 30-year probably is. The last thing I see on the squawks was Trump advisor Kudlow saying China will be held accountable for the coronavirus. I'm surprised the market's not reacting more to that.
Gary Rich says at Bots, what do you think about Tiff Macklem as BOC governor?
BOC governor. Oh, Bank of Canada. I'm starting to see some offers come.
Bot says no clue, I had not heard of him.
Jerry is awake says hovering around open of the week. My NT8 shows it wrong compared to CME website.
Well, they just breached the open of the hour there. I don't know if they're going to turn back around or what they're going to do, but it's been still pretty tight here. But there was an offer there, so they might kind of pull back a little bit. But I think we might see another little sell. Let's see.
Bot says I know he was with the University of Toronto, but beyond that, I guess we'll see.
Hmm. Okay. Can see a couple of guys putting some shorts on now. Okay.
Bot says somewhat worrying given the old adage, those that can't do, teach.
No. Talking about the Bank of Canada guy. Yeah. Well, in the field of economics, though, it's all academic, really. Like, you never get. This goes back to the thing they were saying they should do for the Federal Reserve, but you very rarely do you get like a banker guy comes in and does it. Like, that's why if they had picked you know, like if Jamie Dimon was Fed president, that would be interesting. I would like to see that. Okay, so that's good. Now that we're negative on the hour and we've finally had a short actually really put it on, we could at least go for 28.42. An outside bar there. Hmm. I'm getting that. So I'm getting quiet again and I'm getting that sleepiness. Oh, stopping interval. Okay. Come over here. Good job on that short. Well, this was kind of a combination of things because we got Ace's signal, but then I saw a setup for the strategy that we've been playing, and then I saw something on the new setup. So it was kind of a confluence of everything, and it worked out really well. Now, I don't know if this is really going to run down like I want it to, but Definitely seeing something, right? So next week, I think we're going to start. I'm gonna start tracking this new thing really closely, taking some stats on it, seeing what we get. I can see it's not like too crazy yet, but I am starting to see some guys start to pile on short. It's not too crazy yet, though. Good job on that short. Just take the compliment. Sorry. I thank you, air cages. You know what? Sometimes I just get so cold. I don't know what to say. Like when the logic center starts going, I don't give a shit about people's feelings, man. And I think that I'm still in that mode right now, which is good, but okay, 42. Push through it by a tick. So I have now gotten more than the range. Hey, John. Think they're going to make it that new low? Ooh, it looks so close. I always look in a situation like this and I'm like, well, they're so close. Why wouldn't they go for it? But you never really know. Did actually get something that tells me I can get out here. Were you going to say something, John? You turned the microphone on, but you didn't say anything. I guess not. I guess he decided he wants to stay quiet.
No, I thought better of it.
You thought better message. No, I don't like that right there. I think I have to take it off.
I was sitting here trying to get my kinetic connection to work.
Oh no, you're having some issues with it. I think too many people are catching on here, and I think that the guy that went short got what he wanted and is out. Well, that can't be right. Oh, I know why. I was like, what is with the PNL on here? Oh, it's because of the 5. That's because I took a trade in the 10-year too. Which not quite going to our thing. I'll put one there. I'm noticing that they're not hitting into it either. 29.5. So we probably found where the offer wants to get hit. Yeah, you see him. Right, sitting right on top of me. Ovo Freda, good morning. Well, it's morning for us. It's still 9 in the morning for me. Man, when I look back at the 5-minute chart, this really has been a volatile session. Like I guess not a volatile is the wrong word, but like it's a messy chart. Very range bound and lots of tails. Hmm. I've been searching for a UK futures broker and it is difficult to find. Oh, really? Because most of those brokers are available in pretty much all of the foreign countries. Like if there's any country that they're likely to not have, it's the US. So have you tried AMP futures? I think AMP is available in the UK. Might have to do some more research on that. Cool, I got it. AMP futures. So let's come in. Let's see. Let's do some investigation here for him. Mm-mm. See, there's a foreign introducing broker, so that you can get. Um, Do you know how that
What's the
works,
name of
John?
that new group you just mentioned the other day?
Oh yeah, EdgeClear. So I don't see anything on AMP about
Yeah, that's it.
these. Let's check EdgeClear. I guess maybe it just
Bob just signed up
matters
with them.
the FXCM. Who did? Who signed up with them?
My buddy over there in Amsterdam.
Oh. They might not say. I think it's just like assumed that legal entity identifier EU, so they're definitely available in Europe, but I don't know if the UK is different. Now you can do it. They're saying interactive brokers, but looks like you can start a Ninja Trader account in the UK too. You'll have to choose between Phillips Capital or no, that's not what. I forget which one of those two is better for foreign investors, but so I guess I can say, let's see, did you say anything else? Amsterdam equals drugs and hookers and AMP. Yeah, on AMP futures, you go to trading info, then margins, it lists their markets. Oh, they definitely do the micros. Pretty much everybody has the micros, dude. So the way that it's going to work is you're going to get a broker, and there's going to be they'll have connections to different exchanges. Is where the limitation is going to be. So for most futures brokers, they'll give you. Oh look, there was another signal. I could have taken it. Oh, that's already telling me to chill out. Oh boy, we're gonna have to test this next week, John. It's working so well. Like, look at that. If you get a big bar on the bid or the offer, about 3 bars later, turn. Here, big bar in the bid, 3 bars later, a little bit of a turn. And then here again, looks like that time now that one was a counter signal. Okay, so that's interesting. That one though, you can see that they're pulling now, so they're like accelerating. Yeah, so anyways, you'll want to go over there to AMP, and then you can come in here like exchange data fees, for instance. And then you can see which markets they give you, right? So if you are foreign, then you're going to want Eurex, right? So that's what I would be looking for. Seems close, but it's slow again. fact, I think they might turn up here. Well, just wait and see. I don't know if a buy really makes sense here, does it? Because there's so much negative on like every time frame. But if they don't break that low, they don't break it. Probably we come back up to the start of the hour. Oh, we got London closing in 8 minutes, right? Oh, look at that right there. Okay. Wow, it's so close there. I don't understand why they didn't just go for it, but whatever. There it is. Which other markets? So we're looking. This is the S&P 500 we're looking at right here. Well, they beat the regular session low, but not the. There's still this 36.25 back here, and that run at the bottom wasn't too spectacular either. So I made back some of my mistakes. Overall, that wasn't terrible, but still disappointing. It's not -3. What was it? now. Here's 36. They're just going to squeeze him into the London close, aren't they? Ooh. Now we're talking. $28.36.75 was a high from a few days back. Are you on Monday from? Yep, every day. From 8:20 to about 11:30 Eastern time.
You got a couple questions there in the chat, Seth.
Yeah, did I miss any of them? Other than are you on from Monday to Friday? I caught that. Oh, I feel like I should just be hitting into this, dude. I think that we missed that one, so. Wow, I could even see him turn it on. What the heck? Two minutes to go. Maybe those guys from the Asian in London sessions are still short and they're trying to get as much out of it as they can.
You think they're still trading at midnight?
Is it midnight there? I thought that this was when their session closed. 9:30.
Oh, London. I thought you said the Asian session.
Oh, well, I'm both of them. When does the Asian session close?
It depends on which exchange. 4:30, their time. Depends if you're talking about Hong Kong or Shanghai or Australia, Japan.
Yeah.
They're all different.
I'm sure that for many large firms that have worldwide desks, there could be people that maybe went short during Asian session and are still, managing it.
Mm-hmm.
Is doing it again.
Frankfurt was closed today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just London open.
Some iceberging right there. Nice. You know, one of the silly things is that if that original trade that I had taken that had gone my way quite a bit, and I let that one come all the way back. You know, if I had taken some sequential profits on that one, then I think we probably would have come out today okay. If you went short when I told you to, when was that? It was like on the open. No, I don't know. Like they came all the way back on that one too. I wouldn't be able to just straight up hold it. Okay. So now I am seeing the get out, Seth. Okay.
28.50.75. He said short.
Oh, I don't remember what we're talking about. Air cages, or are we talking about Ace?
Oh, I'm confused. I was looking at Ace.
Oh. No, well, so air cages in chat is saying, Seth, if you went short when I told you you'd be rich right about now, and that was when we were like just after the open, and there was like that huge move up and that huge move down and all that. But then at 8 o'clock, we had another huge move up. So that one, I did the right thing by waiting until after 8. But it was that, 8:30 to 9 o'clock time period. Man, hard. And then, of course, they do end up just careening down. So I'm noticing a real pattern with it. Oh, I actually am profitable on the day now when you include the treasury trade. That's cool. Now Ace's trade was about 28.50. Yes. Interesting how it ended up, because we really hadn't seen any big offers since the 8 o'clock news at all, right? And then when we got that, they fight it against it a little bit, and then they go. I'm seeing buyers coming in down in here. So like,
Do you get any of the indexes with your data feed?
So I am getting the internals. So like I have tick on the chart down there at the bottom. I won't get VIX, but which one were you interested?
I was wondering if you had tick on the bottom of your charts anywhere.
Yeah, that's tick right there. The bottom of this one in the lower.
Well, what time frame you got that on?
That's on a 1 minute. That's on a 1 minute.
Wow, I can't even read that.
Right? This is so. I don't know. Should I put it on a different time frame chart? Would it be more useful if it was on a different time frame chart?
No, it's just the way you've got the candles so fat. It doesn't. I always use open ILO close when I'm looking at tick, but you've got it on a, what is that, a one range chart? I know it's got 1 minute behind it, but.
Oh yeah, there's that one range chart on the ES. Yeah. Wait, you said open idle close?
Yeah, just bars, not candlesticks. Open, high, low, close.
Oh, high low. Yeah. Elon Musk is tweeting about coronavirus being a scam. Jeez.
I'm just looking back there around 10:30 when it kind of peaked, and it started falling off after that.
Well, see, maybe I'm on it too close. So let's come and pull one up here.
Open at 1 minute ES chart and then put tick underneath it.
Well, let's just add tick first. Jeez.
Whoa.
So this is the thing with the tick is that it's just they're more advancing or declining at this particular moment. So it's supposed to be like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it was like the thing I was told to watch for was just if it was above 0 or not. So you can see overall it's still a sell today. So now I'll add yes on a 1 minute. You can definitely see where they overextended up in there. But yeah, I kind of feel like it's impossible to read the tick.
Put your ES on top.
Oops. There we go.
Change your tick to open, high, low, close bars.
Are they not open, high, low, close bars? They're just candlesticks.
Just tick. Open, high, low, close.
You mean these?
There you go. Yep.
Okay.
You
Sure.
probably hate the color, so.
It's fine for now. I don't
Now,
really understand the difference with it like that, but doesn't matter.
Put that super smoother on there now.
Oh, okay.
On the tick, not on the candles.
Hey, that's cool.
Now take and draw 3 horizontal lines. 0, 600, and minus 600. F6.
F6. I'm just gonna eyeball it and then we'll fix them up here. Oops.
2 zeros.
There we go. Okay.
Just
Oh, man.
drag your chart out a little bit so you get rid of those first couple of candles. There you go. So you can see right there where the upticks peaked and then it started selling off. I think on my chart it's 1036. Yours is 836.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of the area that I was thinking. Gary's saying that the NASDAQ VIX is doing exactly what's calculated. You know, I never looked at, since we've opened, what the S&P 500s was. We're probably already there. Oh, no, we're not. We're not. They're predicting 2014. So there's still room to go. I think that we sit and wait for another sell. But I gotta go. So John, I will message you back in a bit because I think we'll have some time today to look at some stuff.
Okay.
But we will stop the stream. I will see you. I did end up. No, actually, I ended up positive. That's funny. I ended up $10 up. That was terrible trading, man. We should talk about what happened there, how we can avoid that. Anyways, Monday. Stay profitable, friends.